Hello everyone, it's the end of September, which is a time that I've been looking forward to for about 11 months for two reasons. The first being the beautiful colours up here in the mountains, and the second, most importantly, is that this is the time for the reindeer rut.
The rut is the breeding season for the wild reindeer, when the males use their impressive antlers to fight for the right to father the next generation. With my good friend Odd, I'm spending 3 days deep in the mountains of Norway to try to photograph this extraordinary autumnal spectacle. Locating reindeer is far from easy and involves a lot of hiking and a lot of glassing with binoculars. In this region, the reindeer herd uses an area of 1,800 square kilometers and are always on the move. But it isn't completely random where they migrate. You see, wild reindeer live a nomadic life, using the wind as their compass. With the wind in their face, they can smell any predators from far away and stay out of danger. By studying the weather forecast in the weeks ahead of our adventure, we could predict roughly where the reindeer would migrate through and plan our trip accordingly. That was at least the idea.
We've been hiking all day with our heavy equipment to find a suitable campsite, and now we are finally in the heart of the mountains, and we've set up our camp a few hundred meters down this hill. It's already evening and we're losing the light quickly, so we are just using the very last light of the day to scour across as much of the wild reindeer's territory as possible. We've been unsuccessful in spotting any reindeer. We've gone the entire day without seeing a single animal, but we have been picking up on some droppings and some fresh tracks, as well as their antlers. But still, I'd say it's been a really great start to the trip so far. We've seen quite a lot of raptors actually. In particular, we had one really cool encounter with a golden eagle, and we witnessed as it soared really low over the ground. As it flew, all these birds spooked up from the bushes below, such as these fieldfares and redwings and other thrushes.
And the willow ptarmigans too.
Yeah, we spotted like 20 different ptarmigan or something.
Yeah.
They were just exploding out of the willows. So that was really spectacular to witness. Like, there were thousands of thrushes in the air at the same time, all trying to escape from this golden eagle. It was really quite far away and I didn't manage to capture it on video or take any photos, but just witnessing that was just a fantastic encounter. Been a lovely start, and high hopes for tomorrow that we'll see some reindeer coming in over the hills to the north. Crossing our fingers for that. Good morning everyone. It is a fantastic morning. There are clear skies in all directions and it's looking very promising for a spectacular sunrise. We have just found a herd of wild reindeer. They are about 3.5 kilometers on the other side of the valley below me here, just over here somewhere. That was the easy part. Now comes the hard part of trying to get close. Let's see how this goes. The sun is just starting to rise. We are still quite a ways away from the reindeer, so we are just speeding over there to see if we can get there before the sunlight starts to get harsh.
reindeer's eyesight is pretty decent and their hearing is really quite good, but their super sense is their smell. They have an exceptionally good nose. So right now we're only a few hundred meters away from the reindeer, but we're having to do quite a big loop around them to get the wind direction to be in our favour, so they won't be able to smell us. We can't see them at the moment, but we think that they are right over this hill. Oh yeah, they're on the horizon. Wow. We've spent about an hour just trying to get around the reindeer to get to the position that they're heading towards while still maintaining the wind in our favour. And now I think the reindeer are going to be just over this hill. So this is the last push. Pretty exciting. We can hear a fight between some bulls. We can hear the sound of clashing antlers right over this hill. Oh, fantastic. There are some seriously big bulls in there. Some really, really impressive antlers. So cool to see. The reindeer, they slightly changed their direction, so they didn't pass by exactly where we'd hoped they would. So now we are just sneaking out of here, trying to remain unseen and going to get ahead of them to try and get into our next position to hopefully get some more portraits and preferably some more behaviour shots of the rut itself.
Now in the mountains you can often see these mounds, and what's special about these is that the birds of prey often use this to devour their prey when it's been catching something. And you can see some signs here.
Pellets.
Yeah.
So mounds like these can be used by generations upon generations of different raptors. It is the fact that they keep coming here and devouring their prey and leaving leftovers and pellets and droppings. That's what makes these mounds look so luscious compared to the rest of the landscape around. So this can be hundreds of years old. So it's really interesting to think about all the raptors that have been sitting here and eating some sort of prey. You can see all the different bones in there. We've relocated the herd of reindeer and they are about 200 meters ahead of us over here, and at the moment they seem to have laid down to rest. They're in a very open area, so it's going to be almost impossible to try and approach them. So therefore we're just staying here at a safe distance to observe them and just enjoy the sight, and then wait and see what happens, in which direction they're going to continue walking. Decided to try our luck in getting a little bit closer to the reindeer, and now we've actually managed to halve the distance between us and them, and they're still all just lying down and resting. as we were lying here, Odd, he gave me a psst and he pointed out to our right, and it turned out to be a hen harrier that was flying low over the marsh and scaring all the meadow pipits up from the grasses. And it did some acrobatic aerial maneuvers in front of the dark, distant clouds up ahead, and I managed to capture some photos of it. So here you can see those photos. One of the difficulties about photographing wild reindeer revolves around the fact that they herd animals and stick close together. This makes it very difficult to find clean and aesthetic compositions without lots of distractions. I therefore like to focus on individuals that stray away from the center of the herd, so I was very happy to see that one of the biggest bulls decided to lay down on a small mound a few meters away from the other reindeer. Against the backdrop of distant rolling hills, I photographed him as the clouds blew in and out of frame, constantly changing up my compositions. Here are a few of my favorite shots. Watched the reindeer sleeping for a few hours, but now they are up and on the move again. And I'm very happy to report that they are moving down into the valley. So we have these beautiful birches in full autumn colours all around, very different habitat than up onto the plateau. Oh, there they are. Using these indents in the terrain to try and get as low as possible so as not to reveal our presence and not show our profile.
I just had one of the most intense wildlife encounters of my life, but I do not have time to elaborate. Oh my god! Did you see the ptarmigan? Wow. Yeah, no, I don't have time to elaborate at the moment, but I'll get back to you because the show must go on. This is incredible. Wow, I finally collected myself a little bit, so now I can tell you what actually happened just now. So, as I mentioned earlier, we're about 100 meters away from the reindeer, and so we had to use these indents in the landscape to try and go unnoticed. And as we were walking down this ditch, suddenly we hit a dead end, and there was no way we can continue without getting spotted. And then we saw them. They came out just to our right. Oh wow! There's a harrier that's chasing hundreds of thrushes. There's no way I'm going to be able to show you with this camera. Oh wow, what a cool sight. Okay, so yeah, we made it to the dead end and the reindeer started pouring out. And the best part, they were coming straight towards us. We just had to sit down right where we were and put everything to our sides and just remain as still as possible. And they kept walking towards us. I just had to hold my breath and I held my camera to my face to try and cover up anything that could reveal that I was a human. And we just had to sit perfectly dead still. And the reindeer, they were looking at us, we were looking at the reindeer. I was just firing away with photos. And then it seemed like they just accepted us. They just didn't care anymore about these strange objects sitting there in the bushes. And then they started fighting. Some of the big bulls started fighting right in front of us. They were always just a little bit behind the others and behind some mounds and behind some bushes, so we couldn't really get a clear view. But then suddenly 2 of the big boys came out clashing right in front of us, 20 meters away. I could see the lichens and the leaves and the grass from the ground were just splashing up as these guys were just tearing away at each other. It is one of the most intense things I've ever witnessed. What an experience! That's to see that at such close range. My goodness, what an experience. My heart was pounding so fast and my adrenaline was through the roof. But then, after a while, I think it was like 20 minutes or something, they started moving away. So once they were out of sight, we snuck out of there as fast as we could because they were finally making their way towards the river. So now we've set up by the river here. We are a few hundred meters ahead of them. We don't know exactly where they're going to come down, but to be honest, I don't care anymore if we get the river crossing shots. It has been a bucket list shot for me for a long time to get a river crossing of the reindeer, but man, with the experience just now, this trip is just complete for me. My goodness. Let me show you the clips and some of the photos from this awe-inspiring encounter. have now been sitting here by the river for about an hour, just looking up at the hills above to see if the reindeer want to come down. But unfortunately, it seems like they've probably changed direction, so for this time, I think we're gonna have to forget the idea of a river crossing. But no worries, we'll see if we can get some new photo opportunities if we manage to find them again.
We set off in the direction we'd last seen the reindeer, and on our way, we spooked several family flocks of ptarmigan. It really is great to see so many of these birds in the mountains this year, since their populations in southern Norway have drastically declined for a while. A short while later, and we lay eyes upon the reindeer once again. They were lingering around the tree line and eventually meandered through the yellow birches. We seized the opportunity to get some environmental portraits to convey the golden beauty of the autumn forest. We watched as the reindeer shrunk to small dots on the marsh far below us, making their way towards the next mountain. But with clear skies to the west and the promise of a golden sunset, we decided to follow, to see if we could reach them before the daylight disappeared. We hiked and hiked as the sun crept lower in the sky. As the last rays of light kissed the mountains goodnight, we spotted the reindeer at the very top of the hill. Moments later, and the sun was gone.
The sun has set a good while ago, and other than a subtle glow to the west, it's almost completely dark. Despite the sunset being absolutely beautiful, I do not think I managed to capture any good photos this time. But you know what? I couldn't care less, because it was such a fantastic experience to just sit there and witness such beauty in the proximity of the wild reindeer. And all in all, it's been such an eventful, fantastic day. So the fact that I didn't manage to get anything good of the very last part of it, I don't really mind. What an experience and what a day. Now I'm looking forward to some food and to get snuggled up in my sleeping bag. I'll see you guys tomorrow. It is a new morning and the last day of our trip, and as we woke up we looked at the tent to see that we were completely soaked in fog, but now it is clearing up and it is just so beautiful to see when the fog finally lifts. So now we're heading up to the top of the hill next to our camp to try and scour out to see if we can see any reindeer nearby while we still have some visibility. The fog came back and reduced our visibility so that we weren't able to see anything at all. We decided that we're going to pack down camp and start heading back towards the car. And if we are really lucky, crossing our fingers, we'll be able to find some animals on our way back. From morning till evening, we hiked and scanned over the vast open tundra, but could not turn up any herds of wild reindeer.
So in total, 2 out of our 3 days in the mountains yielded no results. Nevertheless, I left feeling deeply grateful and richer in riveting experiences. It wouldn't be as rewarding if it was easy.